She is an Emmy Award winning TV chef, and she's here to show us how to cook up some delectable Southern eats. Please welcome Lara Lyn Carter. Good to see you, and congrats on that Emmy.
Thank you very much.
Where do you store it? In the kitchen?
Actually, it's in the den, right at the bookcase where it's eye level, where I can look at it anytime I want to. Just to remind myself I actually did that.
All your hard work and beautiful recipes, of course.
Thank you.
All contained in this book, which people can pick up via our website. It's called Southern Times Shared, and I like the pun with the word times, based on the herb. Well done.
Also, Southern Times together.
Yes. So let's talk about some of this food, because it's all about eating together, coming together as a family.
It is, and that's what Southern food is really all about. Comfort food, and everyone gathers in the kitchen. That's just what we do as Southerners. I think most people do as well.
Yeah.
But one of the ones that we're going to do, and this is perfect with the holidays coming up, is my cornbread salad. This was my grandmother's recipe. You know, Southerners, we love our cornbread, and it's kind of a twist on a Southern take on a panzanella, if you will.
Okay.
So we're starting with some fresh cornbread that I've cubed and put on the plates here, and we're going to bring in lots of flavors with bell peppers, which you can just add right here,
okay.
A little onion. Now, I have to tell you something. I'm a Southern girl from Georgia, and I hear a lot of people say Vidalia and Vidalia. It's Vidalia. It's a Vidalia onion. That's the sweet onion that comes from my home state of Georgia. And it's the only place you can get it. There are only 20 counties in the whole state of Georgia that truly produce a Vidalia onion.
So it's pronounced like a Y.
Mm-hmm. There's
Vidalia.
No, yeah.
How do you say
Vidalia?
Vidalia.
I heard Bobby Flay on Food Network one day said, I've got these great Vidalias, and so one day when I get to Food Network, I'm going to go, Bobby, I'm going to teach you how to say that. It's Vidalia. If you're from Georgia, you know how to say
it. They're delicious.
They are. And so with the salad, you use the fresh flavors. You've got the Parmesan cheese, the bell peppers, the sweet onions. Now, I had to use some Texas sweet because, of course, Vidalias are not in. They only come in April through the first part of the summer.
Okay.
A little bacon, never hurt anyone.
So that's the sharpness of the cheese and the bacon to bring up what is the nice basic polenta or cornbread.
Cornbread, yeah,
right.
And that's what we use. And so then you have all these flavors that come together, and then you're just going to add a little bit of dressing to soak up into that cornbread. Now, this is nothing but mayonnaise, a little cream, and some sweet pickle relish.
Oh, wow. Look at that, guys. Talk about some comfort food.
And perfect with the holidays. This is a different side, a little twist that you can do. And you could also do all of this in the bowl, toss it together here, and plate it however you wanted to do it. It's great made a day ahead of time. It's even better than
I was going to say, if these actually get hard, right, they're day old or whatever, can you just maybe perhaps use them as croutons on top of a bed of lettuce?
I make cornbread croutons all the time.
Yeah.
You know, if you make a big pan and you only use part of it, cut it up, add some seasoning to it, pop it in the oven, get them good and crisp.
Perfect. Up next, I smell delicious fish.
Well, you do, but you know, here again, Georgia's Southern girl, we have grits. Are you familiar with grits at all?
Of course. Do you know that we actually have a lot of restaurants now featuring grits? I would be curious as to your thoughts, because they're made differently depending on where you're from.
They are, and the grits that I use are coarse ground grits, again, from my home state of Georgia. These are made about an hour and a half from my hometown. And these are coarse ground grits. They take a full hour to cook.
Oh, wow.
But they are so rich, and they hold that flavor so well because they're so rich.
What are grits for people at home who've never had them?
Ground corn. It is not polenta. It is not cream of wheat. We don't do cream of wheat in Georgia.
So it's ground corn, but then what else gives it that creaminess?
Well, the creaminess comes from your butter, your chicken stock that I use when I cook mine, and then you can add your other flavors. In here, you'll see some little specks. This has got fresh rosemary, chicken stock, butter, salt, that sort of thing in it to add the flavors. And the great thing about grits is you can do sweet or savory. But shrimp and grits is what we're going to do today.
Okay, so it's stick to your ribs goodness is what it is.
It is.
Oh, that smells great.
Yeah, you get the smell of the garlic, the rosemary. Shrimp and grits is a Southern staple. It's a classic Southern comfort food. But it started out as a poor man's food. It started with the Gullah people on the Georgia coast. Now you can see these. Look at that.
Yeah, how did you prepare those? What is the sauce?
This is olive oil from Georgia, again, rosemary, garlic, and sweet onion. That's all it is. And I saute the onions with the garlic, the rosemary, the olive oil. Then I add the shrimp at the end just so they turn pink and get that great flavor.
Yeah, how many minutes? Did you flip them?
I put them in there for just 1 minute, flip 1 minute, turned it off, and put the lid on, and they finished cooking them. You don't want rubbery shrimp. But the great thing about this with the shrimp and grits is people now know what shrimp and grits are. It wasn't until the early 80s. It was a poor man's food, and a writer from New York Times came through North Carolina, had them in a restaurant, wrote about his experience, and shrimp and grits is now on the cover of my book, magazines, cookbooks all over the country.
As a staple.
It is a staple, but it's a Southern comfort food.
Sometimes it's the most simple, right? That really provides you the most nourishment. Do you top? I noticed there's tomatoes. Do you put those on?
Those on the cornbread salad only for
Got it.
those. But you know, the thing about shrimp and grits too, it's like most Southern foods. It varies from one part of the South to the other. Shrimp and grits in Louisiana would probably have some andouille sausage. Mine is all Georgia grown, so that's my twist. South Carolina, you probably have red gravy on it.
Okay, and let's talk about dessert.
Well, with the holidays coming, of course, we've got desserts, and I use a lot of pecans in mine because pecans are predominant in my state. And I brought two different types with me today. The traditional pecans that you're used to seeing, and then these are called Elliott pecans. They're tiny, they're sweeter, they have a little bit of a buttery flavor to them. And so we've gotten 3 different desserts for y'all today. We've got a bourbon chocolate bread pudding, which
oh my gosh,
nothing's wrong when you put chocolate and bourbon together. I mean, there can be no wrong.
Chunks of chocolate poking through?
That's these big Elliott pecans.
Oh my gosh, it's beautiful.
And it's rich. The great thing about this dessert is you can do it in a traditional 9x13 if you wanted to, you know, but you can also, if you have a small party and you wanted to do in pretty little serving dishes like that, you just top it with a little fresh whipped cream.
This is great holiday entertaining ideas because it's little teeny portions, so you can grab a little bit of each. For example, that brittle, brilliant idea because you make a bunch and you just break it up. You don't worry about it being perfect. What is in the brittle?
Well, now the brittle is a different twist. Most of us have heard about bacon brittle, pecan brittle. Mine's a bacon brittle. You're used to just the sweet flavors. Well, I like sweet and savory paired together. So this has black pepper, which gives a little bit of a kick, and of course bacon. And you can't go wrong with bacon in something either. So it's got that combination of sweet and savory.
Salty. And then last but not least, what is this deliciousness?
This is a whiskey tart.
Oh.
And here again, I'm putting the bourbon or the whiskeys with the sweets. I love that flavoring that you get from it. I'll use it in place of vanilla flavoring in most of my baking a lot of times.
Really?
But this is full of espresso, chocolate, whiskey, pecans, I mean, everything that you can think of. And then you top it with a glaze that has got espresso, the bourbon again, and brown sugar.
Oh my gosh, can I try your
Absolutely.
shrimp and grits after hearing all this? Oh, I hope you don't mind. You didn't want that, did you? Because Kat has run away.
I wasn't going to do anything else with that today. You taste the rosemary and the garlic.
I need a moment.
That's a good thing.
I love you, Lara Lyn Carter.
Thank you.
You deserve that Emmy and many more. It's absolutely delicious.
I love you too.
Do you want the sauce to go with it? You know, grab that right there.
You know what, Kat? Wow, I know. He just no. Hold on, you're gonna.
I'm looking for a
ladle.
Here's a fork.
Can we show her something? She's showing us some Southern hospitality, and this is how we thank her.
Well, it's the Canadian dinner party.
Well, you know,
It really is. The grits are so beautiful.
if people left you a full plate, you would be insulted.
Where do we get the book? BreakfastTelevision.ca, yeah?
You can get it there, and you can also get it on my website, laralyncarter.com.
Okay.
Amazing.
Right? Can we handle this? We need
This
to come
is
visit
amazing.
you, and you need to visit us more often. We'll be back with more BT. Make sure you pick it up Southern Time, share it on Breakfast Television. Whoop, there it is.
I'm not sharing.